After Karl and I had moved back to Saskatchewan and had yet to commit ourselves to jobs there, the family decided to take advantage of this time and take a spontaneous road trip to Deadwood, South Dakota. It took about 8 hours to drive there, but I always enjoy a good highway. Once there, we were surprised with the amount of snow. Back in Saskatchewan, there was barely any at all, but here we found snowbanks 6 feet tall. Yet, the sun was shining and the temperature was hovering around 0 degrees. It was beautiful to walk around and enjoy the winter season without being absurdly cold.
Wow, look at it. I can see my nose, of course.
The town of Deadwood and its residents take their history very seriously. It was established as a gold mining town in 1876 and attracted an interesting assortment of characters who would be typical in an old Western movie. Some of its more famous frequenters included outlaws Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, and Jack McCall. This is the Nuttall and Man's Saloon, where Jack McCall shot Wild Bill in the back while he was playing poker. Deadwood has an amazing surrounding area. Not too far away is the town of Hot Springs, where we had to go to see this active archaeological dig site, where the remains of over 60 mammoths have been found, as well as other prehistoric animals. The area of Mammoth Site in Hot Springs encloses a prehistoric sinkhole that formed and was slowly filled with sediments during the Pleistocene era. Mammoths and other animals would fall into the sinkhole and be unable to climb back out, resulting in this massive archaeological graveyard 20,000 years later. This was a must-see for me, so I was surprised that we were the only people there. We ended up with a private tour, which I was happy about. Another attraction nearby is, of course, Mount Rushmore. I've heard a lot of rumors that Mount Rushmore is overrated, but I had to disagree. Even though half the park was closed for renovations and we couldn't get very close, I was still in awe of the actual rock carvings. I found them really impressive. Another site to see nearby is called the Crazy Horse Memorial. I had never heard of this before coming here, but the monument is, like Mount Rushmore, being carved out of the natural rock in the area, except this one is not yet finished. It began construction in 1948, and at this rate probably won't be finished for another 200 years. However, I found it incredibly interesting to see something like this in the process of being made, and maybe in 30 years from now, progress will be visible to anyone who has visited it in the past. I loved our trip to Deadwood. I admired how proud the people in the area were about their heritage and their history. The way they have preserved the buildings and kept the culture of the 19th century relevant to the 21st century was really spectacular. Walking the streets of Deadwood felt like stepping back into a time where it would have been acceptable to kick in double-hinging saloon doors and knock back a glass of whiskey mid-afternoon. Hey, that's Wild Bill. Recognize that mustache anywhere.
Hey, they're talking. I don't want such a long hair. Those are Vikings.